If you're feeling stuck, scattered, or like something is just off, it might not just be you. It might be your space. What if the energy of your home is trying to tell you something? Then you're going to want to know Lisa Morton, the guide that is going to help you tune in. Lisa is a Feng Shui and Reiki master, interior designer, and now author of the new book, Aligned at Home: How Feng Shui and Holistic Design Can Restore Your Energy and Your Well-Being. She helps people transform their spaces into reflections of their souls so they can finally feel grounded, inspired, and at peace. I had the transformative experience of working with Lisa directly. She did an energy clearing of my home, a full feng shui report, and made holistic design recommendations that were not only eye-opening, but truly life-shifting. Lisa is the real deal. Her insights go far beyond what color to paint a wall or where to place a chair. She taps into the energetic blueprint of your home and shows you how to realign with who you really are. Whether you're moving, renovating, or just feeling energetically off, this conversation will help you create a space that heals, supports, and inspires you. Let's dive in. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Robin. Hi, Lisa.
Hi. Thank you so
Welcome.
much for the introduction. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to be here with you guys.
Oh, we're excited that you're here too. I've been hearing about the reading that you did for Robin, and I've always been fascinated with feng shui. So I cannot wait to dig into this conversation.
Yeah, and it's that combination of feng shui, Reiki, and interior design. So, can you tell us how that came to be, blending all of that, and what led you to this work?
I certainly wasn't expecting to blend all this,
I'm sure you weren't.
right? It's funny because I think back, I was always very intuitive as a child, as so many of us were. And I really had this deep connection that I didn't understand. So then fast forward, I grow up, I become an adult and I went to design school and I became an interior designer doing all the things, the professional job. And then I started having these intuitive moments. It's almost like that little spark came back in a way. And I actually went through my own burnout early in my career. I was in my late 20s, early 30s. I had my dream job, or what I thought was my dream job, designing private jet interiors.
That sounds pretty fabulous.
Right?
It really does.
Yeah, 40 and $50 million jets and traveling the world and getting to meet outrageous people and doing things I never thought I would be able to experience in my life. I grew up on a farm in Iowa, right? I did not
Wow.
expect that. And so fast forward, and I loved my job. It was fascinating. I don't think I was prepared at that age for a job with that intensity. Also, a lot of perfectionism. I'm a recovering perfectionist.
So, what did that look like for you?
Oh, fear of making any mistake. Add to it the cost of the materials. It was a $30,000 carpet in a plane. And if I designed something and a line came in an eighth of an inch off the engineering drawings, keep in mind this was a rug that was hand tufted by a man standing there.
Glad you're illustrating that for people because I don't think people can appreciate that level of detail that you had to have.
Sure. Level of detail in the strict requirements for materials that can go in and what can't. You think you could do anything in a plane, but it's incredibly difficult to get things in, number one. But then you have clients that can afford anything and they want what they want and they won't take no. So it was just very high stress, a lot of travel. It was, Lisa, go home. You're leaving on a flight to go to Paris in 3 hours for a week. Figure it out. And it was great for a while. But then I would get stressed out, worried, anxious. Is this really what I should continue doing? And then I'd have this guilt. I have my dream job. How could I ever give this up? I was navigating that. It got really ugly, really messy. I hit burnout. I say I was a mental health puddle on the floor.
What was the breaking point for you?
The breaking point I share in the book, it was the panic attacks. And then, oh, but I'm letting my team down because I'm sitting in my car crying. It was that
Yeah.
back and forth, that pull.
I imagine too you probably weren't sleeping very well.
Oh no, it was really ugly. And I share
Yeah.
about it. The first couple chapters in my book are memoir-ish because I think I have to share this. I have to share the intensity of what I was feeling because I know so many other women go through it. And I had to understand that to get where I am now. And then I started exploring my space. I was really working on my mental health. I was doing all the things, therapy, walking, exercise, all the stuff, as well as non-traditional things, including Reiki treatments. It was huge for me. I would leave feeling as though I had 10 pounds of weight lifted off my shoulders.
Yeah.
It's so funny. We hear so often how burnout can almost be a blessing
Mhm.
because it forces you to really make a choice on whether or not you continue down a path or you go down a different one.
Love
What
that.
gave you the courage, Lisa? Really, like you were saying, you had this perfect job to let go of that, to really put yourself on the list.
I'll say there was a lot of shame. It was probably 5 years of I couldn't cut it. I wasn't tough enough. I couldn't handle it. It took a while to find that compassion for myself. I'd give it to someone else instantly. I would be the first to go hug them. Life will go on. You will find your next chapter. But to ourselves, we don't do that.
No, we really don't. And I think many people can relate to what you're talking about. And when I think about the age that you were and the fact that prior to this conversation, we've had other conversations, and I know astrology is a big part of your practice in general. And it sounds to me like you were in your Saturn return. Is that true? Yeah.
Bingo.
Okay. And some of us, I think, when you go through that time, it's more intense than others. And we don't always make the changes. I can remember myself being that age and maybe faced with some of what you're talking about. And then I decided to just stick it out.
And that's why
Right?
I asked that question because
Yeah.
it is
And so
really
I'm really
able
intrigued.
to
Yes.
let go of that and really put yourself on the list. And isn't it interesting too, Lisa, that somehow all of that preparation and the interior design work and the intuition that you had actually ended up serving you up and showing you your path?
I go back, I didn't have an option other than to leave my dream job. And I went home and went to bed for 4 days. It was one of those experiences. And I almost feel as it was a rebirth. It
Yeah.
was a beautiful experience in the end. Now I truly get to help people. I had that experience, so now I can understand. I've been there. So now I can talk through or at least have the verbiage or understanding. So it's been interesting, but the Reiki really helped.
Yeah. Talk to
Then I
us
started
about that
tuning.
with Reiki and how your intuitive hits were also coming to you. What was that combination?
I started experiencing a lot of moments, messages, signals, things. I didn't know what it was. And then I went through my Reiki training. I expected just to do level one, just check a box. I didn't really know what would come from it. I then went on to instantly did all the training to become a Reiki master, and it's like the clouds parted. Almost like a light came on, almost like I saw colors I didn't see before. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
It just transformed. I have like goosies head to toe right now as we're talking.
Erin and I have been through level one and level two. We have not gotten our masters, but we can understand. And we find with so many people that we talk to, it is this gateway.
It's always a gateway. And so for you, though, how long of a period of time was this?
I did it in a year easily.
Oh,
I
okay.
was in. I was grasping. I was doing all the things I thought I could do, all the healthy things. I started yoga. I started meditating every day. I'm a fixer. If there's a problem, there's steps to take. You have your tool belt, pull out your tools, use them. So I was determined to fill my tool belt because I had big goals in life. I wasn't just going to give up my dreams. And so that was really this opening, this awakening. During that time, we lived in St. Louis. We had relocated to Cleveland, Ohio. I left my job. My husband got offered a job there. Let's relocate. Just happened that we have family there. His whole family is there. So it was
Wow.
really comforting at that time to be around them. And so I started my design business. It was 2010. I thought I had a fantastic resume. I couldn't get a job for anything. It's a terrible time to be moving. And so I started a design business doing residential design and started exploring a holistic approach to design because I believe in holistic health for my body. So why wouldn't I apply it to a space? And then I started studying Feng Shui.
And how did that come about?
I had read a few books. I found it interesting. I actually met a woman who lives in Columbus who teaches form school, style of feng shui, and I worked with her one-on-one for probably a year. Also, I love to learn things. I'm like, what can I learn now to help and support? And I was so confused by it. I don't know if you guys have ever read any Feng Shui books, but you read one book and then the next one contradicts what the first one says. And then the third one is even more confusing.
I didn't know that actually. I've only read one. So can you also define what feng shui is for people who don't know?
Sure, it means wind and water and is an art and a science of arranging your space, not just arranging furniture, but layout, materials, colors, patterns, everything, designing, setting up a space to support your body. We set it up to provide harmony and a sense of balance. But it's a beautiful practice.
I've always thought of it as a compass in a way. Like when you look at it gives you guidance on what your whole home holistically
Right?
is.
I
And
like that.
yeah, I think if you just boil it down to that, it helps you understand the components.
What I love about it, it helps people connect to their home on a deeper level.
Yeah.
Once you know the power of your home, it's not just a box that you come home to every day. Once you understand how it can empower you, how it can support you in reaching whatever your goals are. Like I talk to clients and I ask them in my intake form, what are your goals? And I'll get these, oh, I just want to feel better. I'm like, no, really, what do you want? Because we can make it happen. I've personally brought so many amazing things to fruition in my own life. I've helped clients. Your home is very powerful.
And I also think of it as the energy of your home.
Yeah.
Think of
And we
it like
talk about
a roommate, a family member, a friend. That's who it is. I encourage my clients to talk to their home. They might feel weird. Have a conversation with your home. Tell your home you love it. Ask your home what you need from it. And
I think
also ask your home what it needs from you.
it's so funny. I've moved a bunch of times, and every time I leave a home, it feels like you're leaving a relationship. It
Yes.
almost unknowingly, and you look back and you look at it empty, and it's sad. And if even if you drive by it again, you're still sad to see other people in it. So I think so many of us forget the deep connection that we have and how it makes us feel. And I think that speaks to what feng shui.
Totally.
Also, I work with a lot of homes that have been on the market for a while. They're not selling. A lot of these homes, they get sad. They get a feeling of abandonment because you up and left. If you can have this conversation, I fully get you might think it's weird, but have this conversation. Tell your home it's time for someone new, it's time for a new family to come and enjoy you. I have all kinds of different tips and things to love on your home when you leave it because it can be a sad experience for everyone.
When you were talking about how feng shui seems somewhat different in each kind of book that you were reading, how did you make it your own?
So there are many different schools or sects, right? Form school that I mentioned before is like the OG, right? That's what they first started working with 4,000 years ago, right? In southern China. It was all about honoring their ancestors. They wanted to find the most auspicious, most wonderful space to bury their ancestors. And that's where it all formed from there. But over time, like so many things, there became different schools or sects. One is compass, where they use the actual compass. There's another one where they focus on the Chinese zodiac. There's a westernized version called Black Hat. What I practice is called Instinctive Feng Shui. So I ended up finding an approach and a school that after I'd studied one-on-one with that woman for a year, I came to this point and I'm like, sometimes we need to break rules. And
Amen, sister. We're with you.
And I found, I'm like, okay, this has to do this and be this way and everything. And I'm like, but my intuition's telling me something different. So I found this beautiful approach called Instinctive. And it's not incredibly popular, but it was perfect for me. It's a blend of the traditional form school, understanding what's going on around the home. Is there a mountain? Is there a river? Is there a valley? Thinking about that. Are there trees off to the left? And then we also study a more Western approach because while we want to honor the tradition, we're on a computer, we're connected via the internet, via electronics. And it's a different world than it was 4,000 years ago when they started developing this. So we need to honor that. And then the third part is connecting with your intuition, slowing down, really listening, and really being able to understand and grasp maybe what the client isn't saying, maybe getting those little cues. So not everyone that does feng shui does space clearing, but that's a part of my work. I think it's so important to have both paired together to rinse out and refresh and then implement these feng shui adjustments.
Now, you talk about alignment in your book. How do you define alignment in the home? And why is that so important to our well-being?
Alignment to me is harmony, bringing in whatever you need, whatever your family needs. If you're going through a difficult time, you might need extra grounding in your life. You might need extra support, specific colors surrounding your body. If you're looking to grow your business, you might be wanting a little more, we talk yin and yang in the book, right? A little more yang energy, fiery, grasp attention. It's creating a space to support you with what you need right now.
What are some of the most common energetic blocks that you're seeing in people's homes? How does that then show up in their actual lives?
And I have a feeling she's going to say something, because whenever I hear the word feng shui, it's like bad feng shui, I think of clutter. I think of things in drawers, closets that are messy, too much furniture, but you tell us.
Clutter is number one. And I feel bad always saying that because I get the look. Oh gosh. Clutter is so impactful in your space. We're responding to the things around us, whether we realize it or not. You may have that box that's been sitting in the corner, and at first it bothered you, but then over time it went away. You don't really notice it every day. It's still pinging you every time you walk by. That box of something from your childhood or something that you don't want to address. So important. But here's the thing. When people get overwhelmed by clutter, two things. One is the more you declutter and release things, the more space you have to bring new things into your life. So feel it. Think of it as an opportunity of less stress. I have to declutter, and more of an opportunity to make space for all those amazing things. The other thing is don't stress about decluttering everything, because sometimes it's not everything. Sometimes it's that one thing. You know what it is. You know where it is. You know how long it's been there. And that's what's blocking you.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I can think of a few closets that need some attention.
I think we tend to want to hold on to stuff, or just a lot of them are memories, but are things that are keeping us stuck because we are holding on to them. And I love that you're saying too, we don't have to get rid of everything.
Oh, I personally lean a little more minimalist, but that doesn't mean you can't have things in your home. Have things in your home that you love. Make sure those things are worthy of being in your amazing space.
Yes.
So then let's talk about how you actually do these energy clearings and the feng shui reports, because I know I have it actually pulled up right now. It's just been so unbelievably helpful and so much fun as well to go through it with my family, because it's very tangible. And by making some of these adjustments, which we're still in the process of doing, you can start to feel the energy shift. And even after your initial energy clearing. So let's talk about how that works and what people need to do and provide you so that you can do that clearing.
So I'm certified in what's called a 7-star blessing space clearing. It has since morphed to be my own sort of clearing. I really need so I actually only do distance. I used to do in person. I found I was doing every protection technique possible, and I was still taking things on. So I put the brakes on. I'm like, I'm not meant to do this. It wasn't that I wasn't meant to do clearings. I wasn't meant to do clearings in that capacity. So once I really understood and started working with the power of the distance clearing, similar to distance Reiki, if you've ever had that, and I realized that being in my own space, I set up an altar, I prepare, I sit in meditation prior. It's a whole experience, and I'm able to clear and get so many more messages, things to tell you. Versus, I think the designer in me, I'd be in someone's home and I'd be like, oh, look at that cute sofa. I'd get out of that state. And so I couldn't clear as well as I'd wanted to.
Yeah, and I just want to underscore for people that this work can be done from a distance. I think there are a lot of people who are like, no, but I need it in person. And I'm asking you to trust, because this works, as Lisa is saying, so powerfully from a distance. We promise. We have tried it and it does work. And it is similar, and not everybody even understands distance Reiki. So energy travels through through space and time.
So I use your floor plan. I ask you about your home. I connect. I do different things. I do a whole intake form and really learn about the client, their home, how many pets they have, really, and try to connect with that space. And then I set up a beautiful altar. I pull cards. It's a beautiful experience. And then I send them a report of this is what I experienced. This is what cleared. Going forward, when you're doing your own clearings, I'd recommend this tool. I can get a lot of information. And I would tell my next door neighbor if they wanted me to do a clearing instead of in person, I would do it distance because it's so much more powerful. I think I can go into that state and clear so much better.
I'm trying to visualize this, Lisa. So on the intake form, you ask questions, you receive the house plan.
And that can be a hand sketch because not everybody has a beautiful drawings or anything. I've even had a gentleman once create his sketch using Excel. I've gotten them all different ways. It doesn't have to be drawn to scale, but general layout.
And then how do you know colors and features of the rooms?
So I don't get in so much. I don't initially know that. I do the clearing using crystals, using sound tools. I personally really connect with sound tools using a pendulum, and then I go room by room and cleanse. So I might not know anything about your home, but like recently I messaged someone and like, why do I keep seeing this image of a gong at your front door? She's because I have a gong at my front door. And I used to be really quiet about it. And I would only give them like the concrete things. And then I started doing a little more. And I don't know if this resonates because also sometimes it's symbolism. I did a clearing yesterday for someone. I had an image of somebody pulling up the carpet and there was mold underneath. Then looking at the floor plan, it's a home that was built in the 90s. And I know there's got to be wood flooring there. But that was a symbol. There's something going on underneath that area. So sometimes it's symbolic of what I'm getting.
Okay, so I'm getting the picture of you now. So in this sense, you're really visualizing the energy of the entire space versus actually, like for my office, for example, is in the money section of my house, but there's no red in there. There's no color maybe that would connect specifically with the feng shui. So what you're
Correct.
doing is you're going based on the floor plan, visualizing and feeling, using your intuition, your visualization, and all your energy tools on what that space feels like. And then do you literally feel block areas? Like, do you hone in on specific?
Sometimes I have this saying, it feels like a turtle running through peanut butter. Or there's a fog, or there's like thickness sometimes we have to clear out. Sometimes it's emotions. You may have an area of your home where you have some of those deep conversations or sensitive children. You can definitely get a lot there and try to support them.
Lisa will explain that it's really two parts, right? So it's this energy clearing, and then there is the feng shui part, which is the second part. But I have to just say what I love is that, again, she'll have the floor plan, but she doesn't know exactly how things look. And what I want to highlight is there's one area of my house where it really is like a swing space for us. On the floor plan of my home, it says like den or something like that, but it's really a swing space. And then it's attached to a bathroom on our first floor. And I remember the report came back, and now Lisa doesn't know this. So this area that is indicated as den doesn't know exactly what it is. Can you tell it what it is? Can you literally tell it what it is? It was so funny because she was so right. Like, I can understand why it doesn't know what it is. And she's just get clear on what it is and talk to it because it's actually a very frequented part of our home. And then she's in the bathroom on that first floor. I feel there's a lot of deep thinking that goes on in this bathroom. So freaking right. Like, I was laughing so hard because that bathroom is probably the most frequented bathroom and that people spend a lot of time in. And so it's TMI, but it's so funny and so true. You know what I mean?
So fascinating. So
Yeah.
as you're doing this intuitive, energetic clearing, can you actually feel if the house is a happy house or
Oh, sure. Then sometimes it'll even be yesterday, the clearing I did, the living room, it's just my pendulum. She was happy, and you could just sense this joy for this new family that moved in here. Homes want to be loved and lived in. They don't want to be left alone. And when they can get a new family and with kiddos who are laughing, or sometimes a home will be like, play a game in me. The dining room will be like, get your kids together and play a game. And this will help me and help you.
I love that. Who would think? It's like giving the home like its own personality.
Absolutely. Can you talk about the second part?
So the second part is more analytical. It's diving deep into the feng shui. I map everything out. I use what's called the 3-gate method with a Bagua map. That's an ancient map that tells you those different areas, where your wealth and abundance area is, where your love and relationships is, where to focus on if you're struggling with a bug. And what I try to do with my reports is not just fix what issues you have going on now, right? Say you're struggling financially. Okay, we're working on this now, but what do you need to know going forward? So you can pull this out 3 years from now and you're like, everybody has had a bug all winter. We don't know what to do. Go to your report, go find that health area, and here's your cheat sheet. Do a little zhuzh, a little love, right? Send energy to that location.
And you even are like, because you're looking at the whole perimeter also of the home and where could you use some extra good energy, you'll tell us maybe you should put some of these crystals in this specific area. You need to close off this because it's too open, or all of these tips and suggestions are really to cultivate the best energy for you and your home and help you find that alignment for all of you involved.
Yes, that sounds so perfect.
It's true. And I can't speak more highly of your work and how it can impact everybody. We often talk about how to translate the woo. How do we make the woo not so woo? And
We make it singular woo, not woo.
correct. And so to some people, like who may be living in the home who don't totally get it, they don't need to. By the way, they don't need to.
That's right.
They'll just know by feeling. It just takes one of the people in the home.
It's also like I tell if I have someone that's, oh, my husband this thinks this is weird, whatever. And I'm like, just give it after clearing, after we do feng shui adjustments, I say give it 6 weeks because everything
Yes.
needs to balance out,
Yes.
right? And he might come to you and be like, I'm sleeping so well lately, or watch the kids, or watch the dog might go into an area that he didn't go before.
Yes.
There's all these little subtle cues. And my husband's super analytical. He's a business guy. He doesn't get it, but he knows our home feels really good. He knows his office feels really good. And I really love to be that safe person to guide people into this, because I met a gentleman recently and I thought with your profession, you'd be wearing a hemp dress. And I'm like, I'm a girly girl. I love it, and I like all the things.
Yes.
And you'd be amazed at some of the clients I have, financial advisors, attorneys, accountants who you would not expect, but they can feel it, they know. And I think I can provide that safe place for them to go, to know we're going to make sense of the woo, and it doesn't have to be just weird and floaty. We can give it grounding energy.
People are feeling like stuck. I think we started at the very beginning talking about if you feel stuck, it might not be you, it might be your space. Are there a couple of key things that maybe they should be looking for that you would suggest, Lisa?
Number one is clear your home. Get rid of the energy because it's stuck. You don't know what's been there from a previous homeowner or someone that came into your home or struggling. I deal with a lot of people. A lot of times I get a call because there was illness, there was divorce, there was something heavy, right? We want to release that. We don't want that stuck in our home. That's number one. And number two is your front door. People don't realize the importance of your front door. And in Feng Shui, we call this the mouth of qi. This is where energy comes in. So use your front door. Oftentimes we come and go through the garage, but come up with some sort of reason to use your front door, whether that's walking the dog, going on your morning walk. Come up with some system to use the front door as often as you can. And please don't have a piece of furniture in front of it. I have had multiple clients. Actually, I have a dear friend. I hope she doesn't listen to this, but she's been writing a book. She has 3 successful books. The 4th one, she's shopping it out. Nobody's biting. And she has this really old home and the door doesn't function well. They literally put a chest in front of it. And I'm like, if you would move that chest, you would
Maybe
not
she
believe,
needs to listen to it.
right?
Can we just talk a little more about the front door so I understand? So,
We want it moving. So you want that door to open and close. Check the lock, check the mechanism, make sure the hinges aren't squeaking. And these are all things we think about, but we don't realize the power that they have. You know, if it's squeaky, that's limiting, right? That's limiting the flow of energy in for new opportunities, new experiences. Sweep the front. There's leaves now. Sweep the front, keep it tidy, refresh the doormat, add a beautiful wreath. Once we dive into your specific home, looking at the bagua, dig into the feng shui of it, we can learn more about, hey, blue would be a great color for your front door, or bring some pots of this color. It just kind of depends on what you're looking for. Here's one thing I want to make a point. There's a million things you can do following feng shui to support your home. There are so many things. I have my podcast. It's quick and easy tips for busy women. It's quick, it's easy. There are great things you can go home and implement tonight. But if you want those big, powerful shifts, if you want to be a different person next year, if you want to start that business, if you want to start your family, you know, those big things, it's so important to dive in and look specifically at your home. Because I oftentimes will be like, actually, the woman who designed the cover of my book, she's fabulous, but somebody told me to put a bowl of rice on the back of my toilet. I'm like, okay, I really got a bowl of rice on the back here. The designer in me is, oh gosh. But it's important to look at your home. I understand why they did this, right? They're bringing in a wood element to the back of the toilet where there's excess water. That gets deeper. But you live in your home. You might live in a ranch with double front doors and a pond out the back, and you have a rather quiet lifestyle with one dog. And Robin is in a city with two-story home and two dogs. I don't know, two dogs?
Yes.
And family and higher energy and different goals. So it's important to look at your specific space if you do want those big shifts.
And by the way, this can go for someone living in an apartment as well.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I just nixed this beautiful apartment for this guy in Miami. I think I crushed his dreams, but he'd been going through some difficult things in life. And I looked at the book layout, and there's a lot of adjustments we can do. And I use the word adjustment. You might hear the word cure. I don't like the word cure. My teacher, Luann Sibbick, actually taught me this, which I agree with. Cure sounds like there's something wrong. It isn't wrong. We can just find a better path. But sometimes there aren't enough adjustments. For this apartment, there weren't enough adjustments in the world to help what he was doing. And he had the option. So I'm like, go with the other one.
There you go. See, I mean, another good reason to consult if you are moving and or
I do a lot of that. Just a 1 hour overview. Lisa, can I get your blessing on this home that it isn't going to cause a lot of problems? Because there are certain layouts that really aren't supportive to us.
Wow. Let's talk about your book and what is your intention with this book and putting it out there?
Oh, my intention is to really help open up some people's eyes. They don't realize, they think it's just a box that they crash in at the end of the day. They just live there, no big deal. But it's so much more than that. It can provide you with so much support in life. It can help propel you forward to really just understand the importance of this and just move forward with it and make friends with this. It's beautiful little moments to connect, to really intentionally do things in your home, to place something with intention and care and realize that it has big effects.
It feels like it's, as you said, there's some memoir to it, but then it's also like a guide.
I get into feng shui, I get into holistic design, I talk about kitchens, I talk about bedrooms if you're struggling with sleep, I talk about so many different areas, and there's even one for pets because I'm an animal lover, so I had to get in it and talk about pets. But there's concrete, digestible information, as well as some maybe areas to just ponder or maybe journal.
like, for example,
Can I read something to you?
Yeah, please.
So this is my favorite part, you guys. And I kind of want to cry every time I read it.
oh,
So I made up a word. It's nestorations. This is infusing your home with those sweet little moments of love. Maybe it's not repainting your bathroom. Maybe it's just folding the toilet paper into a point to make it really nice the next time you walk in. It's these little moments. So if it's okay, I'll read this little section.
Please.
This is in Breathing Life into Your Home chapter, and it's called Introducing Restorations. Consider this. You have the power to infuse your home with the essence you crave through simple, sweet, loving actions. I call these restorations. You may have heard of people talking about glimmers, those small moments that spark joy or peace in your day. Restorations work the same way, inviting you to delightfully sprinkle vibes into your sweet nest or home. A restoration isn't just about cleaning, tidying up, or making feng shui adjustments. It's about mindfully caring for your home in ways that feels nurturing. It's the difference between rushing through chores and slowing down to infuse those moments with love, gratitude, and purpose. These small, sweet acts create powerful shifts, bringing balance and peace to your space and in turn to your life. Remember, when you show up for your space, it shows up for you in return.
This conversation is so inspiring because as you're talking, I'm thinking about how your home can be a spiritual companion of yours on your journey. I know that's what you've been saying all along, but I'm really thinking about how can I exercise my own intuition in working with my home and listening to what it might be telling me and how it might want to be working co-creatively with me for the best experience. Like that's an aha for me.
Well, then also think about those past homes you lived in and those experiences help
Yes.
transition you and help you grow.
Yeah, and they hold those memories too for you, the happy ones and the sad ones, like you've been saying all along. But I think as you're co-creating with your home, finding those ways to find that happiness and that joy and building on those, I think it's like partially the reason why when the holidays come around and you're putting up your Christmas tree or all those memories come back, the little ornament of your kid's handprint or whatever it is, they remind you that your home is a nurturing part of
Nest, yeah, that we're caring and we're adding our little limbs to every day and the leaves and tucking them in for the ones we care about.
Oh, I love that.
I do too. It's such a different perspective for many people. I think it's really eye-opening. And we have to ask you before we go, what's one item in your home that holds powerful energy for you?
Hard. I have so many.
I bet.
Gosh, I have the center of my home. I have it's a fireplace. It is grand. It has presence. And in my home, it connects right next door to the Fame and Reputation Gua. And so for me, growing my business, I've been working a lot with that. On the other side, we have a bathroom that's in our wealth and abundance area. So I have to be very mindful of this, keep it tidy, keep it clean. I just had it redone. And so there's a fun place I get to work on and another place I just always have to keep an eye on.
Wow. I love that. You're walking the walk. You're doing all the things that you're doing all the things that you are suggesting to all of us in your own home, which we love. So
There is a purpose to everything in my home.
I would imagine that there is.
Are there pictures of your home in your book?
There's not. No, I did not do pictures. I do feel very protective of my home. Not everyone's welcome into my home. And I don't often post pictures of my home. I don't often share pictures of my home because it's my sacred space.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. So what's the best way for people to connect with you, your podcast, your book, or work with you?
For fun things, social media, of course. You can find me at Pure Living with Lisa Morton on Instagram, on Facebook. And then you can go to my website, Pure Living with Lisa Morton. It's spelled MORTON.com. That's my website. And my podcast is called Feng Shui Living Tips for Busy Women. Easy,
I love it.
quick tips.
They are like each episode is like a nugget. So smart. And thank you for doing that. And just a reminder that Lisa's book is called Aligned at Home, How Feng Shui and Holistic Design Can Restore Your Energy and Your Well-Being. And you can find that wherever you find your books. And she'll be joining our Seeking Center community on November 19th at 2 p.m. Eastern. So you can join the community at seekingcentercommunity.com if you're interested in seeing what we'll be doing that day, which I know is going to be eye-opening for many. So thank you, Lisa. We are so grateful. I'm so grateful. My home is so grateful. My son. And I feel like we really just scratched the surface here on what is possible through looking at your home and the energy within it in a different way.
If you do nothing else, just make friends with your home.
I feel encouraged even more now to talk to my home.
You can name it. I love to recommend naming your home.
Oh, that's a great
I will
idea.
share my name, our home's name. So we have a big property. We have 15 acres out in the woods. And so it's called Serenity,
Oh, I
but
love.
it could be Jane, whatever,
I agree. I'm going to think about that. We name our cars, so why not name our
right?
home?
Name your home, name it. It gives
Did
it
your
more connection.
did your home tell you the name?
It came to my husband, and he's not very intuitive, but it came to him. It was like thrown at him. We're like, yes, it's so quiet and peaceful out here, and it's heaven.
Oh,
That's so good. And I love what you've taught us too is to look at Reiki, Feng Shui, intuition, connect the dots between them, and go on a journey with it. It is a gateway of learning and real life living in applying those in your everyday. All right, I'll let you know what my house tells me its name is.
yes. Thank you, Lisa. We can't wait to work together more in the future.